Hey, Captain Logos here, preacher at large, teaching the word, inspiring you 3 minutes at a time. Hey, this morning we had our men's breakfast. Pastor Matt was talking, and one of the lines he said was, "Don't waste the wait." And that struck me, and I asked him, "Hey, was that your original?" And he said he doesn't remember hearing it anywhere. But think about it. Don't waste the wait. Now, right now we have a lot of time to think and meditate. Right? A lot of folks aren't having to work. For those of you that aren't, hopefully a lot of folks are just getting back to work, but you've had a lot of time to meditate, think. So what are you thinking about? Right? What are you filling your mind with? Are you are you just sitting there doing nothing? Are you sleeping the time away? Are you spending time reading? Are you focusing on good stuff? Are you just watching TV endlessly and filling your mind with junk? What are you filling your mind with? Have you been spending time in prayer? Don't waste the wait. Have you been spending time in the Word? Don't waste the wait. Right? These are things we should be doing. Well, we have all this extra time. Remember all those promises you made God? God, if I had more time, I'd be able to spend more time in your Word. Well, you've had more time. Hopefully you've spent more time. Here's the reason I focus on this. It's important to know what we think about. It is important what we think about. Because what we think about informs us. What we think about and what we dwell upon leads to our actions. Yeah, you can't do anything unless you first think about it. Look, in Corinthians, Paul writes that we're supposed to take every thought captive. Right? 10 and verses 3 through 5, for we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For our weapons of our warfare are not carnal, they are mighty in God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. So why is Paul talking about taking every thought into captivity and bringing it into the obedience of Christ? Well, he's talking about the flesh and walking in the carnal ways and worldly ways in that particular spot. But if you jump over to Colossians 1, there's a spot here in verses 21 through 23 of chapter 1. It says, and you who once were alienated and enemies in your mind worked wicked works. Yet now he has reconciled in the body of his flesh through the death to present you holy and blameless and above reproach in his sight. Indeed, if you continue in the faith, grounded, steadfast, and are not moved away from the hope of the gospel which you heard. See, it's very important what's going on in your mind, because right now there's a lot of junk on the internet. There's a lot of junk in the world. There's a lot of people trying to say that that God's not real, and life is coming against the Christian walk. We are starting to de-Christianize America. Yes, there is a de-Christianization going on right now. And there is a battle over God or not God. And the more you think about the junk, the more you may lean towards your actions will drive you away from God. The more you think about God and take every thought captive, like Paul asked, to the submission of Christ, knowing, hey, if it's not good, get rid of it, replace it with a godly thought, then, right? Because we have to stay put in our faith. If indeed you continue in the faith, grounded, steadfast, and are not moved from the hope of the gospel which you heard. If you keep dwelling on other stuff besides the word and prayer, you may be moved. I'm encouraging you not to be moved. I'm encouraging you to be grounded. I'm encouraging you to be steadfast in the hope of the gospel which you heard. Now, go get your face in the Bible.